I'm Supermoon Tarot, and today we are doing a love reading, but we are specifically answering the question, what happens next? Now, this is covering such a large general audience that I could be picking up somebody who just got ghosted. I could be picking up somebody who just started dating. Maybe you've been dating for a while. Whatever it is, we're going to talk about whatever comes through. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is I have a question for you guys. If you enjoy this concept of a reading of what happens next via love and relationships, would you like this to be a monthly thing? Because relationships change. Sometimes there's new relationships or new dynamics. So this easily could be something I talk about each month, kind of giving now what happens now that this has happened. You know what I mean? Let me know down in the comments if that interests you at all, and I'll do it. Either way, feel free to enjoy this video as is. And as you can see, we've got lovely crystal balls looking into your love predictions. I've got a wonderful candle over here. This candle's awesome. It actually has the scent of rose. You can't smell it, unfortunately, but it's great for self-love, attracting love. It's all about positivity, confidence, and just ooey gooey affection. So I wanted to kind of send that energy and good vibes your way and over the cards themselves. You have your 4 different groups to pick from. Pick whatever resonates with you most. Let me give you a moment to do that. And now that you have, the timestamps for each group are in the description below. Can't wait to see you in your group, but let's start with group number 1. Group number 1. Let's find out what happens next for your love reading. Your oracle card is Goblins in Reverse. And don't you know, nothing's more romantic than goblins. I'm just kidding. Okay, your tarot cards are the Moon card upright. You've got the Knight of Pentacles upright, Ace of Wands in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, and your last card is, oh, the Lovers upright. This is actually very positive, but we have to look at the other cards before we jump to conclusions. So let me just look at what's going on here. Interesting. I want to pull some more cards for this transition going on, and I want to pull one more card just to be absolutely sure. I'm all about being absolutely sure when I do this stuff. So let's talk about where you guys began as a relationship, your intentions and what you were doing about it, and then into the future prediction part of the spread. So the Moon card and Goblins are in particular associated with each other and bouncing off each other. Interacting. I couldn't think of the word. The Moon card talks about you first met them, you liked them. They impressed you. They had something about them, something potentially very emotional, and you thought that was wonderful. But the more you got to know them, the more you realized you were kind of, I don't want to say led astray, but your first impression about them wasn't correct. Most likely because they did that on purpose. Now, often I do find with the Moon card, compared to some of other cards and the way they can be flipped, this often, while it seems pretty sinister to lead someone astray in a romantic relationship, often indicates somebody who is insecure. Those insecure vibes get continued over in the Goblins card as well. This is somebody who's lacking confidence and feels that if you saw the real them, it might not be enough. But the thing is, I'm still a little, I don't know, I'm just going to put this out there, and then if this resonates with you or not, awesome. But essentially, Goblins talks about a warning for you that somebody's going through a hard time, and it's all well and good to be there for them, but this is not the time. Their emotions and what they are going through is getting put onto you. You are taking the brunt of it. It's feeling like baggage that is weighing you down. And this isn't the person, and this isn't the time to be there for them. Often this card can talk about someone doing this as a form of manipulation. Oh, feel sorry for me. See what I'm going through, as a way to influence you to want to hang out with them, be with them. So this to me feels a little, you know, I'm just putting it out there. Maybe there wasn't the best intentions going on in the beginning of the relationship. But I see there was some sort of, I don't know how to put it, but you seemed to have some sort of epiphany of like, no, I'm not giving up on this person. I feel something's there. I see that they're going through something for a reason. I don't want to give up on this person. Me standing by this person is more than just purely I love them or I'm into them. I feel there's a reason why I'm meant to stick around, so to speak. So this goes into the Knight of Pentacles and where potentially you're at right now. This is about you two working on trying to get on the same level in the relationship. It's been a slow and steady process. It has not been easy, and often it feels like you're doing most of the legwork when it comes to trying to even out this relationship, help them through their feelings, get to know the person that's underneath all of this false impressions, you could say. But unfortunately, it looks like as you were digging more into the relationship, trying to make it work, it's like you were trying to force something. Now, the good thing is we don't have the Two of Pentacles in reverse anywhere here. When you get the Two of Pentacles in reverse, in many cases, it talks about a couple that's just incompatible. It's just not meant to be. Don't try to force it. It isn't meant to happen at all. That's not popping up. But, I mean, this is kind of a rough beginning to begin with, and it's already pretty arduous as it continues on. And then, unfortunately, what seemed to happen is as it started to feel really monotonous and a little too much kind of talking and working out problems rather than feeling like you just were two fun, you know, kids in love, so to speak, you know, a wonderful couple in that sort of way, the passion kind of started to die out. Passion is dying out. But I have some potentially good news when I see this transpiring over here, but I just wanted to pull some more cards to better understand this fully, to give you the right information. So let's see what's going on over here. Okay, the High Priestess, and what else do we have? Three of Pentacles. Okay, now I understand. Okay, so from the Passion, I saw an interaction between the Hermit card. The Hermit card is a couple things going on here in reverse. This is the two of you that have been isolating yourselves from the rest of the world, because who wants to be around other people when you don't feel that great as a couple? And it looks like you guys were coming out of that isolation and you were getting together in a positive way as a couple. You were going to get together in a more harmonious, what you wanted initially out of the relationship to begin with, the two of you. This is also, and this gets more of a clear indicator here in the High Priestess card, you realized you were doing all the legwork. You were the one trying, and you pulled away and said, listen, I care about you. I potentially love you. I don't know where you're at in your relationship. But like, I gotta take care of me now. I've done and what I can do, and I've made it clear what I want, but I'm not leaving you, but I need to focus on me more. The High Priestess card is someone who's empowering. This is somebody who's got their, you know, their stuff together. And definitely you started to kind of reconnect with the part of you that's able to understand when you're being lied to, when you, just the part of yourself that's, we're defining it simplistically as intuition, but it's suddenly being aware of not just calling someone out on their stuff and becoming defensive, but being able to notice all the nuances when somebody does care about you. You know what I mean? You're just purely seeing the truth through, you know, in between. The moon is also talking about being able to read the truth in between the lines. You're able to understand the good and the bad, and you're able to be okay in standing in your own opinion, even if someone else disagrees. So this looks like you were just kind of really gaining a better insight in yourself and able to see all the problems as a whole and kind of calling them out on it, so to speak. Now, the cool thing is you did not stop loving them, and in the future we're talking about, you don't stop loving them, you don't stop, you're not like kicking them to the curb, there's no separation. In fact, it's you two as a couple get out in the world together more often. It's a positive change. But it looks like you were like, listen, I'm able to see through what you've been going through. I've been able to see through everything we've been going through. We've been fighting too much. We've been boring. Let's go have a good time. And you were able to say, I think you're going through these tough things. I think you don't feel like you're able to really be yourself when it comes to people initially, and you put on this act because you don't feel like what you have to offer is enough. It looks like you help them connect with some sort of ability they have, some sort of skill, and by teaching them and helping them implement it in a way that benefits them, whether it's turning it into a fun career, a hobby, something, this is what gives them confidence. This is what gives them the motivation. So this is motivating them and being like, I know how much you like to game. Why don't you start a gaming channel on YouTube? This is about being like, hey, you've always been interested in cooking. Why don't you go try cooking? You could even cook for us if you wanted to. And they start to be more focused on this than all the mixed up emotions they've gone through in the past. Now, the cool thing is, as you become more empowered in the future and centered on what you want, who you are, so on and so forth, and you give them at least a tool and be like, listen, I'm giving you a tool to help yourself, but go help yourself. I've helped you enough. It looks like not only do you come as a couple out of that isolation, you start kind of being out in the world together more. You've taken time, you've done enough analyzing in the past of what is wrong and so on and so forth. This is what the Hermit in reverse often means, is coming out of the cave. You've self-analyzed enough, you're out in the world. But this also indicates that they're going to finally, after this time period, come to you and finally be open and speak frankly without any alternative motives. And that makes you guys feel really close as a couple. And I just want to make absolutely sure this is a happy ending. I don't want to, I just want to make clear that this doesn't represent you being with someone else. Okay, 9 of Pentacles. This is really positive. I'm going to try to shift some of these cards down so you can see them better. 9 of Pentacles is a guarantee and a positivity that you're going to be together. So basically, they're going to come to you, say, you helped me so much. I'm sorry for my silly ways. Seeing you empowered makes me feel empowered. And it looks like by being able to finally be frank with you rather than maybe, I kind of get the vibe, Spirit's telling me they could have said some negative things, like, or you felt that they looked at you as if you were quote unquote nagging. I hate that term, but sometimes people pinhole other people into that phrasing. And it looks like everything kind of beautifully, harmoniously comes together, and you finally are just a couple together, happy, harmonious, the lovers, just open and affection. That gets continued here. The 9 of Pentacles also talks about somebody coming to somebody else and being open and able to share what's on their mind and open to love and wanting to be together. Again, both cards about coming out of isolation. So if you felt like they were pulling away from you and you felt that with the lack of passion, the more you were trying to pull their way and the more they were pulling away, it has this beautiful turning around because you focused on yourself. You gave them a tool to overcome their own thing rather than, because sometimes when we're in our emotions too much, it starts to like bog us down, and this pulls them out of it. You both kind of get there as a couple. They finally open up in the way you want to, and you just had a really positive ending. So this is like, I couldn't have happier news to deliver your way. So I'm really happy to say that. Woo! I'm going to dance with your little lovers card. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, what now looks like a chaotic reading, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. But either way, have a lovely day. I can't wait to see you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2. Let's find out what happens next in your love reading. Your oracle card is Commitment in reverse. Your tarot cards are 3 of Cups in reverse, Page of Pentacles upright, 8 of Wands upright, 7 of Pentacles in reverse, and your last card is the Hierophant, or Fant or Font, whatever you want, as your last card. I'm going to probably pull some more cards just to make absolutely sure I know what's going on here. But yeah, so your card kind of has a root, so to speak, of everything. And what I mean by that, it's not just the beginning and how your relationship began with them, but it's a lot of the driving force at why you feel drawn to them, why you keep coming back to them. Like whenever things aren't going great, you're like, but this time when we met, because here, this shows me this was a whirlwind romance. This is a romance that was amazing. It was quick, potentially quick in the bedroom, and it was fun and romantic and amazing, and you just had never experienced anything like this, like how you had this with them. So here we have you over here. We have two. This is over here where we're going to be talking about the future. This is what has happened. So you're a little sweet pea, and you go, hey, future person I'm into, or person I'm into at that moment, let me give you a token of love. Now, this can take place in a form of physical gifts, but this is depicting you saying, hey, I'm already thinking now about being with you in the long term. I already know at this very moment you're the one for me. But unfortunately, the Page of Pentacles in reverse says you're wasting your time. This isn't the investment for you. You're putting your energy somewhere you shouldn't. It's not worth it. And unfortunately, that idea gets carried on over here with these two other cards, it looks like. Now, this is two warnings going on for you to give you at least a little understanding of why it has been a little rough and to better understand them. So first, commitment card in reverse. This is Spirit. Spirit's being pretty vocal about this, is like, do not commit to this person. Now, this can be in a just formal relationship, like, you know, together as a couple, but this can also talk about if you were thinking about the long term of marriage or something like that, if that's what you're into. This is saying, don't do it, you will regret it, don't do it, don't do it. I'm also getting a repeating concept a couple times throughout the spread talking about this entire relationship being a sort of life lesson part of your journey, which is really interesting that it's popping up in that way. That isn't the case for every relationship that doesn't go our particular way that we would like. But now here, I'm not quite sure which one this is referring to because I'm not seeing enough repeating evidence throughout the spread to just full on say, hey, there's someone else behind the scenes that you were unaware of, that there's someone else involved and you might not be fully aware of. The reason why you're being told not to commit is because they might potentially have somebody else. That is an option, so I'm throwing that out here because this is a general reading, but I'm not seeing enough information to be like, yep, that's the case. Instead, this is more, I can say for sure, is more referring to this person. You are sweet. You're already thinking of the future. You love love. This person is a lot more shallow. They're into the chase. They don't really care as deeply about things or potentially even you. I don't want to be blunt because I can't say that for sure. The way you do. They don't have you. They can fake it and make it seem that way, and they like being caught up in the drama of that initial romance. So that was a fun time for both of you, and that was real. But in the long term, what you felt like was being promised to you, they have no interest. That's just not where their mind is at. That's what they don't care about. And you're being warned by Spirit of being like, don't put yourself in a situation that will ultimately make you unhappy. Take back your token. Give it to someone better. Now over here we have a prediction thing going on over here. So it looks like, again, you have this deep-rooted romance being the utmost important. But over here, this interaction between the cards imply there's some sort of new beginning for you. This would be a form of you leaving them. This is you having an awareness and a sort of an epiphany and saying, I'm setting out on my own because of the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. The Seven of Pentacles in reverse, straight up, is just couldn't be any blunders. It's not working. It's not working. You can think of it as like, if Seven of Pentacles upright is all about you're successfully working on your garden and making what you have work for you, all this like positive stuff with nutrients and growth. In reverse, it's like, girl, the soil is dead. It's just not worth it. All your hard effort is not worth it. Two repeating concepts on either end sandwiched around the romance of both saying, it's not worth it, you're wasting your time. And keep in mind, I know that seems really rough to hear, but the thing that's so beautiful about it is saying your time is worth something. Your energy, your love, it is not something you should feel sad about. You should say, this is awesome, this is empowering. I'm worth, what I have to offer is worth something. People should be deserving of it. So keep that in mind. That's a bit of the epiphany you're having because you suddenly click and you're like, oh, I'm starting to see maybe this isn't what I thought it was initially. And you realize, okay, it's just not working. And then this is when we have this beautiful, like, heightened sense of spirituality, this really positive growth thing going on. Because this isn't just purely me saying, yes, you're going to separate from them. It's your choice to leave them. So that's empowering your awareness of what you're worth. That's empowering. You're single. Bye. Enjoy life. Go enjoy the next person you're with. I'm saying that it seems like you really do learn something from this life lesson. You feel empowered by it, and it looks like you go on a bit of a spiritual journey. This is also about somebody who is empowered by the new skills they're taking on. So, you know how a lot of people after a breakup really enjoy things like maybe they get into going to the gym, or they're like, I'm going to take up this new skill, I'm going to pick up knitting or yoga or something fun like that. Whatever it is, it seems like you're just all about self-improvement, realizing your worth, enjoying your worth, feeling a sense of spirituality, and seeing this not as a negative thing that you went through, but this empowering thing, and just being able to have that awareness that you're so like you left this and you're like, wow, this is the first time I've left a breakup and feel better than I even did before. Like I said, very spiritually uplifting. But I wanted to pull a few more cards to just like absolutely, you know, make sure a couple things. So let's see what's going on here. This is all relating over here to our Hierophant. Got the 10 of Wands, 8 of Cups, 6 of Cups. Okay, so Spirit kept telling me to pull more cards. I'm glad I did. I do want to give you a bit of an awareness to keep in mind. So, like I said, you're going to have the epiphany, like we talked about, of being able to move on in a positive way. And it's really empowering, and it's all your choice. You leave them. But this 8 of Wands kept being, you know, hopping out at me. It's clearly very important to you, and who wouldn't understand that? I totally get that. Romance is a wonderful, beautiful thing. But it looks like at times when you're going in your spiritual journey and you're doing your thing, you're enjoying life, sometimes it can feel like you're just trying out a lot of new things, and it's exciting at first, but it doesn't quite stick in the long run, and you start to question this sense of self-empowerment. That's where the 8 of Cups comes in. This is like a sense of always moving around and trying something new, and even though you're moving around a lot, you're actually really not going anywhere. And there's a feeling of confusion and feeling lost with that. It looks like it can feel, you know, almost burdensome. Sometimes you have these this is like in the future past the positive epiphany. There are times when it's like great and you feel amazing about your decision, and other times you can't help but go back to the 8 of Wands, feel nostalgic about it, start to wonder, was it worth me going out alone? Start to regret your decision. And then there is the potential of you wanting to go back and give them a second chance, try it out again, be a little nostalgic of what once was when you're at times when you're not feeling as strong. Because sometimes, and I just want to put this out there, when we're on spiritual highs, we can also experience spiritual lows. Because once you come out of feeling so intensely amazing, if every moment isn't amazing after that, our body automatically assumes something's wrong, and then it just feels like we go into a pit of despair. And you're not in a pit of despair. Sometimes things are just normal, and it's okay to feel sad. It doesn't mean they are necessarily the answer. Now, the decision is yours. You can do that. But I'm letting you know why you're making these decisions potentially out of more, how do I want to say this? Temporary feelings. You know, when you temporarily crave something, and if you wait long enough, you realize, oh, I didn't really want that. That's what I'm talking about. Because we already know where their mindset is. You have been warned twice, actually 3 times, and have been told about this being a lesson being learned. Is this a lesson you need to go back to and learn again? These decisions and things are of your own choosing. But this is just to give you some sort of awareness in the future, because it looks like you can have that tendency to think about them again, but you have a really, really happy, positive, powerful, empowering future ahead of you. And at least the comfort to know that, yes, it is them, it isn't you. So overall, it's still really great. If you enjoyed this reading, please feel free to give a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. But either way, have a beautiful day. I can't wait to see you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3. Let's find out what happens next in your love reading. But first, let's look at your oracle card, which is Field of Dreams Upright. This is an extremely positive card that I just don't get enough. Your tarot cards are 10 of Cups in reverse, 2 of Cups upright, the Hanged Man in reverse, 5 of Cups in reverse, and your last card is 4 of Wands in reverse. Let me just look at these cards for a hot second. Okay, I have very positive news to share with you. But even though this has a happy ending, there's a bit of advice being laid out for you in order as a couple to get to this point. And this is our main point. This is the 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups is awesome, but the reason why it's so awesome is this is more than just saying, hey, you're a couple. It's a positive, very loving, open thing. This is about 2 people understanding that they both have to bring the same amount of effort to the table. This is 2 people coming to each other with equal love, equal trust, equal respect for one another. There's effort on both parties' accounts. For me, this is a very happy, modern love because many people are in love with other people that are great, but maybe the other person is more selfish, or you feel they're not showing enough affection back, or whatever this is. This is a couple that knows how to work well together as both truly life partners, romantic partners, and day-to-day partners. It's just the ultimate bliss. Like I said, they're the ones going grocery shopping with you. They're the ones getting the annoying chores done with you. Equality and harmony to the end. It's a very, very positive card. But how do we get there? Well, let's go into it. Now, I do want to note, this isn't for everybody because this is a general reading, but I'm picking up, these are 2 cards that to me talk about an overbearing family on somebody's part. I'm kind of getting more your partner's part, and it is a bit of the reason they are the way they are. In fact, it kind of feels like they're not fully out of the picture. They maybe call your partner and it's annoying and it upsets them, and maybe they kind of react in a negative way towards you. This isn't for everybody, but I am seeing that pop up. But now let's get to everything else. So first off, we're going to talk about the 10 of Cups in reverse, and we talk about what needs to be done in order to get here. This talks about when things aren't going great, don't just sweep it under the rug and be like forcing happiness as a relationship. If you feel annoyed, or if they annoyed you or you annoyed them, talk about it. It's not about nitpicking everything, but do not put band-aids over cracks. Your foundation is going to become rocky, and you're being warned of that. Like, solve the problems now. Don't let them become small, growing resentment in the long term. It doesn't seem like this is happening all the time, but it's happening enough that it's showing up in the cards that it's important. Again, don't let small problems that can be fixed easily in the moment, especially when this is often a card, may I add, that pops up when people misinterpret, somebody's tone or intention. Easily can be solved. Don't let them build a view of you or you a view of them and how they respond to things without clarification and proof when there might have been misunderstandings. Over here, 4 of Wands, it basically says, guess what? Things are going awesome. You're killing it as a couple. There is a lot of happiness and love here. But don't just get all, like, oh, yep, everything's great. Moving on now. Yes, you still have to put in a lot of effort on both parties' accounts in order to get to the end of the race. Just because you can see the finish line doesn't mean you're there. This also does hint towards, this is a bit controversial, but be open-minded when hearing this. This also does refer to gender roles. Sometimes people, now this can be, again, everybody is doing their own thing. Let's be open-minded here. Sometimes people want to be in gender roles. Sometimes people don't. Both are welcomed here. But this card in particular says both people need to come together and see how they can work on bettering the relationship as a whole, both parties removing away gender roles. So that doesn't mean, and I'm just trying to say the point, let's say you're someone who doesn't mind what comes along with whatever defines you and how you like to exhibit yourself. You don't mind the old school ways. That's fine. It doesn't mean you can't still be the old school ways, but the way of tackling the difficult parts of this relationship have to be removed from that. It's two people coming together. What can you offer? What can you offer? Not what you think somebody else is to offer. And if you don't like to subscribe by those old school rules, you're a little more modern, you know, you're a little everybody's equal type of thing, then same concept. Just make sure you're aware that everybody is bringing something important to the table and both of you need to bring an equal amount of everything, so to speak. Now, we're going to talk about this. This is so positive about how, actually, no, wait. Before we're going to get into this, we actually will. I'm just realizing this is actually the perfect time when we talk about potential being here, but that you just need to work on these things. Now, Field of Dreams is such a happy omen. This is a card that says there is a lot of potential here. You have worked hard for it. You have met the right person. It is time now to not necessarily enjoy it, but work towards it. Work with it, work towards it, want it. It's there, go for it. Think of it as like you have a bunch of separate projects. Pretend these are all the different projects. But where do you put your energy? What person do you romantically put your energy in and say, this is the person that I think is worth building maybe either a long-term relationship or potentially this is your twin flame or soulmate. This is a very positive sign. I do want to note with soulmates in particular. Actually, you might have either a soulmate or twin flame thing going on here. Sorry, I didn't even mentally pick that up. Okay, sorry, just putting that out there. You might say, is this person that I can spend the rest of my life with? But how do you know? When is it the right one? You might have been casual dating in the past because it wasn't worth putting out that energy that way with the right type of person. Well, imagine someone, you know, like a video game, you get a hint. They already highlighted and it's like, yep. This is the one. This is the one that has potential. You're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to want it. You're going to have to try. But this is the one worth putting your energy in. So this is a hopeful message. This is saying you still got some stuff to do ahead of you, but it's worth it. Do it. Feel that energy. Feel that love. Feel that potential. Feel that magic. Now, this is some really happy stuff that gives a little more of a... talks about some abstract concepts in relationships that I think is really helpful. We have two different things going on here. Or actually, well, no, I would actually say they're almost one and the same in a way. So in the Hangman in reverse, this is about you being able to, sorry, I just got a text message. Sorry for the distraction. This is about you being able to accept them for who they are and they accept you for who you are. It's not about it's like you're finally like, you know what, you're just this way and I'm gonna love you for who you are. It doesn't mean in the past you were trying to change them, or sometimes people do need to grow, sometimes people do need to change, but other times it's like, listen, I know you want to go out to have romantic dinners with them, but maybe they're just a stay-at-home kind of person. Just laugh about it, accept it, that's who they are. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a bit of like resolve and feeling like the answer, you don't have to keep coming back to this and fighting over certain things you don't like because you just are just like, you know what, I accept you for who you are, better or worse. Same concept kind of gets repeated here. It looks like you're the type of person you would normally be attracted to changes. So this person you didn't even know, this is where it gets really cool because go figure, love can get deeper. Love can evolve. You can understand people in a way you never thought you were going to be able to before. Again, we talk about potential. Potential means things that you haven't even experienced yet, but you will delight in the long run. So this talks about how, hey, you know what? I finally am just going to let it go. I'm going to accept you for who you are. But go figure, over time, I really like that that's who you are. I like that you're an individual in that way, and I appreciate that. Now keep in mind, with the card facing over here, it looks like this goes both ways. Them accepting certain parts of you, and you accepting certain parts of them. So all that being said, potential, don't smooth over the cracks. Both people need to make an effort. Remove other stereotypes aside. Both have to equally put in the effort, but yes, things are going well. Accept people for who they are. Enjoy that your perspective on what you want in this life is going to change. It's all going to beautifully come together here in the Two of Cups as we discussed before. Not only a positive, happy ending as romantic partners, but that next level of equality, trust, and I can't be more repetitive or happy about you receiving this card. Like I said, for me, the Lover's card, awesome. Really positive, romantic omen. Two of Cups, this is someone you can build a life with. This is really positive. So, if you enjoyed this reading, please feel free to give a like, comment, and subscribe. Helps out like you would not believe. Either way, have a gorgeous, wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number 4. Group number 4, let's find out what happens next in your love reading. Let's see your oracle card, which is Peaks of Joy upright. Okay, I can already tell you now, this is your ending. I'm all about not jumping to conclusions, but I can tell you at this very moment, yes, Peaks of Joy is your ending. And this isn't just because it's happy. I deliver all messages, no matter how unfun they are to hear. So this has a particular reason why it's the ending, and we'll get to that further along in the reading. But let's look at your tarot cards to see how you get there. We've got 7 of Swords in reverse, 7 of Wands upright, we've got 4 of Swords in reverse, 7 of Cups in reverse. That's 3 7s. So many 7s. Oh, in the Chariot, another 7. Okay. Wow, that is a lot of 7s. And that makes sense. Okay, so with common, that's so funny because this is not a 7, but everything around these being there being so many 7s shows some very, like, you're having it thrown in your face very aggressively what you need to do. But I do have a very positive, happy ending either way for both of these cards. I got that extra double confirmation, that being the case. So, a couple things are going on here. I will say this might not be the case for everyone, but I just want to throw this out there. If this does resonate with some of you, I look like this isn't the sole case, but for some of you, it looks like there was some sort of one-night stand situation and the person you were with was with other people and they ultimately ended up picking you, that it turned from a one-night stand to more. So that's just, we're just putting that out there. That's the case for some of you and I'm picking up on that. But for everybody else, it looks like there is just a bit of dysfunction going on in the relationship going on at the moment. And it looks like you're kind of being asked to still have to open up and be a little more vulnerable than you would like to. But there is a lot of positivity, even in something in particular I want to share with you. So there's 2 things going on here I want to talk about. 1, you are being asked to kind of have to, how do I put this? These kind of in a way say the same thing. The 7 of Swords is saying you're going to need to bring some information you have been kind of keeping away from your partner to the surface. You know what it is. You're aware of it. You kind of didn't want to talk about it. You're going to need to talk about it now. You need to open up. And the 7 of Wands talks about you needing to show your partner, like, hey, I'm worth it. I'm not a doormat. Yes, look at all these cool things I can do. Look at who I am. Look at all my traits. Look at all this positive stuff. You need to really throw it in their face and show them what you have to offer, which is not, from what I'm seeing here, that's an uncomfortable thing for you. You were a little more, you're someone that doesn't want to be like, hey, look at me. Let me show off and dance and be your performer. That's not really for you, but think of it less like that and more just taking time to say, listen, you might not be at this point in time easily able to see what I know I have to offer, so let me show you. Let's just be diplomatic about this. Let me show you what's up. So it's a lot of like what's being hidden being brought to the surface, especially during a difficult time. It feels like sometimes we have to, at the heart, like think of yourself in like a story, like a battle, when they say when you have nothing else left to give, you still have to dig that much more deeper. And that's the very thing. That's like, it's almost like when everything else had been used, all your resources, all that was left was the core of your being. And that's all they want to get to know, which is really beautiful. But this over here is interesting. So when I see this many sevens, it talks about solitude. Now, solitude can indicate, oh, am I not going to be with this person anymore? Is that where it's leading? No, no, no. With the Four of Swords, it talks about solitude again, but solitude for both of you needing a little bit of space from each other because you're just kind of both exhausted, whether that be from the friction in the relationship, maybe you're both really busy at this point in time, and you just don't have the best version of yourself to offer the other one, and you both need a little bit of a break. Now, to be clear, this is not about being a break and then being like, yeah, go date other people. I mean, if you're open to that as a relationship, you do what you want to do. No judgment here. I think we can all agree that there's no right or wrong way about going about love, and that's a beautiful thing if that works for you. But you can be open with your partner and be like, listen, we're both tired. You know, maybe you live together. Let's just live together. Let's be chill. Let's just kind of both like be together, but just do our own thing and stop, you know, expecting too much of the other one at this moment. Let's just take a break, but be together. Or, hey, we're still a couple, but let's just chill out. You can text me, tell me about your day, but let's just kind of hold back a little bit on the dating, give each other a breather to rejuvenate ourselves. Now, the cool thing is, it looks like the reason why you're pulling back for whatever reason is, like I said, a lot of chaotic things were going on. And if you're worried that if you spend some time apart from your partner, that it will somehow separate the two of you, you won't be as in love. No, no, no. It looks like when all that time and period of time of being is said and done, your partner ultimately looks at their life and goes, you know what? And of everything out there, you make me happiest. They're able to see all the great qualities you have. They appreciate the vulnerability that you shared with them and ultimately end up choosing you. It's not about, it's like they cleared their head and it wasn't about any, they realized it wasn't about being without you or with you. They just needed a second. They just needed to breathe. They just weren't in a great mental place to be able to, you know, be the partner that you needed and vice versa. And the Chariot, and these are both really great happy endings. The Chariot describes a couple who overcame a not so great time period. If you were going through some dysfunctional stuff, if you were fighting a lot, if you were out of sync, you did it. You were victorious in the end. It all worked out. It indicates that there weren't some great times and that you will overcome it. So it's really positive overall. But the reason why I said Peaks of Joy was already your ending is Peaks of Joy is saying you are happy with whatever happens. No matter what happens, good or bad, with this other person, without this other person, you are going to be overfilled with joy, gratitude for life, just pure bliss and happiness. So I ultimately knew before we even went into this reading that no matter what was going to happen, you were going to be okay in the end. But the cool thing is not only are you going to be okay, you're going to get a little vulnerable. You're going to start to build some confidence by realizing, yeah, I do have something to offer. Look at what I've got to offer. You're going to have a break, get the break you should have honestly taken a while ago. I will mention that. Four of Swords is the ultimate, like, tisk tisk. I'll just input this. This often comes up as a warning to say, listen, if you don't take a break, life is going to force you to take a break. This is like inconveniently getting sick when you really need the hours for, you know, money and work. So this is the break you deserve. Don't worry. The time apart is only going to bring you two together and kind of clear out their mind. Everything is going to be okay in the end. But you're being asked a lot of yourself at a time when you might not feel you have that to offer, or you feel okay sharing it. You're going to have to find confidence when you're not sure if you have it. Trust me, you're being shown you do have something positive to offer. And it's all going to be very happy and wonderful, and you'll get to share it with them. So ultimately, a very happy, great, resolution-y sort of reading, which is great. And this will give you a little bit of guidance when these things pop up, so you're not terrified. It's all going to be okay. Yeah. If you enjoyed this reading, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. Either way, have a gorgeous, wonderful, fulfilling, positive, happy day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!